Hey, what's up guys? We're here in the Cypress Tree Tunnel in Point Reyes. We're here to get some golden hour shots. It's sunset right now. We don't have a whole lot of time, so let's go. Look at this view. Today we're checking out the brand new Hohem MT3 Pro, and this is their top of the line professional version. It is coming in at around 550 USD, which is a pretty penny. And of course at this price point, it packs with tons of professional features. But the real question is this the right gimbal for you? If you've seen some of my videos before, you know I'm a big fan of Hohem. So I've reviewed the M7, and then the MT2, which is like a little brother of the MT3 Pro. The MT3 Pro is basically the more professional and capable version that is built for mirrorless cameras, phones, and even action camera. And speaking of action camera, GoPro just announced Mission 1, which I did pre-order, so make sure you subscribe to see my honest opinion on the GoPro Mission 1. For this review, I'm mostly focusing on just the mirrorless camera setup, which is my A6700, as well as the Filtrox 15mm f1.7, Tamron 28-75, and sometimes I change it out to the 28-200. The great news is that all three lenses, along with the A6700, will work on the gimbal without any type of balancing issue. Starting with the build, it feels solid right away. This whole thing weighs 2.2 pounds. The design is really clean. The grip has a nice anti-slip texture to it. The buttons feel really clicky. The scroll wheel has a nice weight to it. The buttons are responsive. The joystick is smooth with precision speed control, so you can make slow, precise movements or faster adjustments when needed. You can also adjust the joystick speed directly inside the settings of the remote itself. Overall, the MT3 Pro feels like a tank. When it comes to attention to detail, I want to give a shout out to Hohem because they thought about adding Teflon to some of the adjustments area so that when you're balancing your gimbal, everything is silky smooth. Now, compared to the old MT2 that I was using before, oftentimes when you're balancing a gimbal, you feel that skip like that. All the joints are lockable to prevent damaging the motor when you're transporting it. And speaking of transporting, it also comes in this semi-hard case right here. It's a pretty fat case. The grip, the follow focus, the gimbal itself, all the cables, everything fit right into this beautiful case. So it makes traveling with it, at least from A to B between gigs, very easy. I mean, balancing is pretty straightforward. It's definitely a learn it once type of gimbal, and it can get a little bit overwhelming at first because there are so many like brackets and parts that kind of screw on together. Read the instructions, watch tutorials out there on how to balance this gimbal properly. I'm not the best person to do it. I have no patience, and I just slap it on and go, and I still get wonderful footage. Once you balance the gimbal, you rarely have to rebalance it again. Now, there are times where I was using the Tamron 28-200. The balance point I set was about at the 50mm mark, just so that I can shift it back or zoom in without overloading the motor. In a wedding ceremony, you oftentimes will need to zoom in. So what we're going to test now is how far we can zoom in on the 28-200 until the gimbal fails. So let's go ahead and give that a test. Okay, so I'm at 35, holding up just fine, 50, 70. Actually looking really cool. Oh, there's a car coming. 100, 135. Oh, I feel the weight of the lens moving down. All right, here we go. 200. Is it gonna hold? And it is holding. So as you can see, the gimbal actually can hold a lot of weight. The motor strength is super strong. And even though when it is super unbalanced, it's still holding up just fine. Now, if I shake it a little bit more, maybe motor will fail. Oh, no, it's still okay. It's still holding. It's actually very impressive. One of the biggest advantage of this gimbal is how flexible it is. Now, you're not locked into only one type of setup. You can run mirrorless cameras, you can run smartphones, you can even run an action camera. Switching between them is easy, but not quick, because you still have to rebalance everything. But the best part about the Hohem MT3 Pro and the MT2 is that you can very quickly go from horizontal to vertical mount within seconds. Now, a lot of cameras can shoot open gate. It will save you a lot of time, but for cameras that you are dedicating for vertical mode, then at least this gimbal will allow you to switch between horizontal and vertical very, very quickly. So keep in mind, if you're on vertical mode, you will have a lot less tilt movement compared to if you're in horizontal mode, just because there's just not enough room. Now, in my case, I have this additional eye cup that's causing it to hit, this arm right here. And then as well as in the front, I have the electronic follow focus. This knob right here is hitting this right here. So keep that in mind. It's not perfect, and it largely depends on the camera setup and accessories that you have on the gimbal itself. There are tons of accessories that comes with this particular package, or if you want to buy it a la carte, it's going to be a bit more expensive. If your budget allows and you want the follow focus and you want a grip, I just recommend you shelling out the money right away and just buy the top of the line professional version. It comes with everything that I need and things that I've always wished for. In this video, I'm not going to go too deep into the follow focus. I think I want to make a separate video for this. All right, one of the most underrated accessories definitely goes to this handle. Because of the weight of the gimbal, having a second handle makes things so much easier. You also get better control and more stable footage. Not to mention, it also has a mounting point specifically for the removable remote. So now that the remote is attached to the gimbal, you have better ergonomics when it comes to camera control. You can also stop recording without having to remove one of your hands to go to the shutter button. You can just do it right here. On the side, there are 1/4-inch tripod mounts that you can also add additional accessories like a magic arm so you can mount a monitor. Let's talk about this removable remote. This is where things get interesting. It's detachable, has a small screen, and shows a live preview of the AI tracker. That's right, the built-in AI tracker actually has the 2-megapixel camera right here that transmits to this tiny little remote on the 1.4-inch screen, so you can preview what this AI tracker is seeing. So one way to initiate the AI tracking is easy. You can actually use hand gestures like this. So right now I'm facing the camera, just do this, and now it will automatically track me, just like that. It's super easy. And then to stop tracking, all you have to do is this. And that is how you stop tracking. All right, when it comes to initiating tracking, Hohem gives you so many options. Now, the obvious one that I love is gesture control. Now, the second way is directly using the remote here. Right now, around my face, you see this yellow box. And as soon as it detects my face, you can just hit the side button one time. This is the same as the trigger that is on the gimbal. So just press this one time. My face should turn green. In this case, it's kind of tripping out because there's so many stuff around my background, but it turns green and the tracking starts. You can see it's tracking me right now. You can also see that the light on the gimbal turns green as soon as tracking started. And then if I stop tracking, it will turn red, which means it's on standby mode. Well, another way to initiate tracking is just double tap on the subject. So you can double tap on my face. And now it is tracking my face exactly as it should. Last but not least, the best thing about this gimbal is that it can also do object tracking. So for example, a static object like this lens, draw a square around the object you're trying to track like this, and then you press the side button one time, and boom, as soon as it turns green, it starts tracking. So not only can you track animals and human beings and stuff like that, you can also track static object so that you can get those beautiful product shots. I would say it does a better job tracking human beings than objects. If you're extremely backlit like this sunset right now and you initiate the tracking, Oftentimes it gets confused and it starts spinning around. So in time, when Hohem continue to work on this, they just need to upgrade the firmware so that it will improve the tracking. But for now, this is one of the observations that I saw. So what makes Hohem's AI tracking different is that they went with a hardware-based AI tracking solution. Because it's hardware-based and it lives on the gimbal itself, it works with all types of camera. You can put a potato on here, it'll still track. It doesn't matter. And of course, because of the offset, it's not going to be an exact one-to-one preview, but it gives you a very good reference as to what the camera is seeing. So from here, you can control the gimbal movement. You can make some adjustments to the settings. And the best thing is you can use this as a Bluetooth remote to stop recording. Interrupting real quick. Sorry, I forgot to mention in the video that I had a hard time connecting the gimbal remote to my a6700 and a7 III through Bluetooth. For some reason, I just couldn't get it to work. The simple workaround is to connect the gimbal to the camera using the USB-C cable. Right here, up in the front with a camera icon, you can use this to also power your camera as well as to use this as a remote. So now the record button works. Just like that. So in true Hohem fashion, you can turn on the LED light in two different ways. One, under roller control on the remote, you can use the on-off switch, super easy. You can also control the temperature, RGB versus CCT. The other way is to leverage the scroll button right here, long press to turn on the LED light, triple click to switch between RGB and CCT. The scroll wheel in RGB will allow it to change color. Switching back to the CCT, the scroll wheel will now change the color temperature. When it comes to stabilization, I have no complaints. I think their latest algorithm is like iSteady 10.0 or something like that. And it works really well. I think it's on par with DJI and some of the market leaders out there. I would say if you're balancing a lighter camera on this gimbal, you need to be a little bit more careful when it comes to the balancing. But if you're balancing a heavier rig, I think it's more forgiving. It's kind of like the opposite. In terms of battery life, it's rated up to 20 hours. Now, in real life testing, I was using it pretty heavily. I think I got like 12 hours. All right, so let's talk about some of the things that's on my mind. Number one, I love this remote. I love the removable remote, but I'm also concerned that if I lose this thing, it's done. It's great they can do so much with this remote. You can make a lot of adjustments. You can stop recording. You have the joystick built on there. You can even stop tracking using the side button. But can I be real? I'm getting old. My eyes are getting worse. And this tiny screen is just too tiny, okay? My thumb is this big, yo. I can't press it with my thumb. I have to use like this index finger to kind of make selection. The good news is the screen is pretty responsive. Sometimes, rare occasion, it would kind of lag a little bit. Like when you scroll, it's just not responsive sometimes, but it resolves itself most of the time. And worst case scenario, you just plug it back onto the gimbal, kind of like it sort of resets it a little bit. Those are like super minor gripes I have. Thinking back as a beginner, this gimbal is pretty intimidating. It's kind of an overkill for beginner users, right? Which is why I think this is geared more towards professionals and really serious content creators. It's also not as budget friendly like the older MT2. Pricing wise, this gimbal, as it sits with all these cool accessories, comes in at $550. If you want just a standard kit without the follow focus and all that cool little stuff, then it comes in at $449. But if you're just starting out, or if you're a bit more budget conscious, I'll probably look at something like the MT3, which is also brand new, or the older MT2, which is always on sale now. They're both just as capable. They both have AI tracking. It just doesn't have all the bells and whistles like the MT3 Pro, which is designed for professionals. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and find this helpful. If you do, please hit like and subscribe. I know I skipped a lot of the details, but there's just so much with this gimbal, and I only have very little time to make this review. Last but not least, I want to thank Hohem for sending this gimbal for me to review. If there are discounts available, I'll definitely hook you guys up in the description below. Those are going to be affiliate links. Till next time, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate y'all. Peace.
Yeah, keep going. Good.